Forget what you know about royalty. This is not your average throne sitter. This is a man whose empire stretched beyond castles, into the clouds, across oceans, and deep into vaults lined with more gold than some countries' GDP. His name? Sultan Haitham bin Tariq. And if James Bond had a richer, royal cousin, this would be him. To most of the world, he is a mystery. No flashy headlines, no paparazzi, no luxury shows for the press, and yet, behind the scenes, he commands one of the most discreet and wealthy royal lifestyles on earth. He doesn't just live like a billionaire, he lives like a myth, whispered about in palaces, boardrooms, and luxury clubs from Monaco to Abu Dhabi. But don't be fooled by the tailored suits and flawless smile. Behind the charm lies a master strategist, a silent kingmaker, a man whose wealth isn't just counted in billions, but in power, loyalty, and legacy. This isn't just a lifestyle. It's a kingdom built in shadows and lit by diamonds. Welcome to the secret billionaire life of Oman Suan, the royal who rules the land, the sky, and the sea. You're about to step into a world very few ever see, and even fewer ever leave unchanged. The sky belongs to him, Sultan Haitham's royal fleet of flying palaces. Now, when you hear the phrase, owning the skies, you probably think it's some poetic exaggeration. But when we talk about Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, this is not just a phrase, it's a literal truth. The man doesn't just travel in style, he flies like royalty in a fleet that could make even Iron Man blush. Let's start at the top of the food chain. The crown jewel of the Sultan's aerial kingdom is none other than the Boeing 747-8 BBJ, a beast of a bird. This isn't your average commercial jumbo jet squeezed with crying babies and stale peanuts. This one is nicknamed Nizwa. Yes, it even has its own call sign. When this majestic machine takes off, it's not just flying, it's making a royal announcement in the skies. This jet is worth over $200 million. And before you gasp, let me assure you, it's worth every penny, because this isn't a jet. It's a flying five-star palace. Imagine gold-trimmed walls, private royal suites, dining rooms, and conference zones. The walls themselves probably whisper poetry in Arabic. The floors? Covered in the kind of rugs that scream, "You can't afford me." The seating? Hand-stitched leather, softer than any pillow your grandma's ever crocheted. And this flying palace doesn't just look good, it also functions as a strategic airborne command center. That means Sultan Haitham can make state decisions and issue royal commands mid-air while sipping Arabic coffee 40,000 feet above sea level. And just when you think that's the end of his jet game, hold your camels. Next in line are the Sultan's regional aces, the Airbus A310 and A320 jets. These are not your budget airline versions. These are custom-built for one thing, VIP operations. Think of them as the ultimate flying limousines for royal short-haul missions. Whether he's flying to a neighboring Gulf state or just wants to hover over Muscat for fun, these jets are perfectly tailored. No layovers, no boarding passes, just elegance in the air, personalized to a royal standard. Now, let's bring in the Gulfstream G550, affectionately known in high-flyer circles as the G5 Fire. If the Boeing 747 is the flying palace and the Airbuses are his royal taxis, the G5 Fire is his personal stealth bird. Sleek, fast, efficient. It's built for rapid global mobility, meaning if Sultan Haitham wants to be in Zurich in the morning, Paris in the afternoon, and back in Oman before sunset, done. No questions asked. With a range of nearly 7,000 nautical miles, this jet is his airborne sports car, blazing across continents like he's playing a global game of chess in real time. Now, you might be wondering, why so many jets? The answer is simple. When you're the royal ruler of land, sea, and sky, one jet just won't cut it. This isn't about luxury for luxury's sake, it's about presence, power, strategy, and yes, a bit of polished pizzazz. Each of these jets has a different purpose. Long-distance luxury, Boeing 747, regional statecraft, Airbus A310 or A320? Secretive high-speed missions with zero lag? G5 Fire. Oh, and did we mention all of this is managed under Oman's Royal Flight Program? That's right. There's an entire elite aviation unit solely responsible for making sure the Sultan's airspace is a floating heaven. Pilots are trained to perfection. Crew uniforms probably cost more than our monthly rent. We're talking about precision fit for a king. Because, well, that's exactly who we're dealing with. And one more little nugget of luxury? These jets don't just land anywhere. They touch down on military-grade runways, escorted by convoys, cleared in advance, and timed to the second. Every time NISWA hits the tarmac, it's an event. The airfield glows. The protocol buzzes. And somewhere, a golden carpet is unrolled with mechanical precision. So, if you ever look up and see a plane slicing through the sky like a polished sword, glowing with regal confidence, and probably playing classical Omani music inside, yeah, that's probably him. He doesn't just fly first class, he redefines what first class even means. With his unmatched fleet managed under Royal Aviation Program, gold detailing inside, strategic command functionality, and enough firepower and elegance to make NASA jealous, it's safe to say, the skies are not just friendly, they're royal. Oceans kneel before him, Sultan Haytham's royal yachts. So we've seen that Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has the skies completely under his command. But wait, His Majesty didn't stop there. No. While most of us are busy struggling with Wi-Fi on the beach, this man commands the ocean like Poseidon took early retirement and handed him the keys to the deep. Let's get something straight. The Sultan doesn't just own a boat. He owns 2 floating kingdoms. These are not yachts. These are nautical palaces gliding across international waters with the grace of a swan and the intimidation of a battleship. If the skies are his kingdom, the seas are his red carpet. First up, the beast, Fulk al-Salama, which charmingly translates to Ship of Peace. But don't let that name fool you. This vessel isn't floating around handing out flowers and herbal tea. It's more like a $500 million mega yacht meets floating embassy, loaded with enough prestige to sink any concept of normal maritime luxury. Just imagine it, conference rooms on board, diplomatic quarters, lounges that feel like you're sitting in the heart of a royal court, and who knows, probably a golden room somewhere just to reflect and remind people who's in charge. This yacht is so discreet, most of the world didn't even know it existed for years. It just silently cruised through waters while negotiations, decisions, and quiet power plays unfolded inside. It's a mobile command center on water, but wrapped in velvet and trimmed in polished teak. And let's be honest, a $500 million yacht that doubles as a peace envoy? That's not just luxury, that's marine diplomacy. Now, before you've even had time to process that, let's introduce its royal sibling, the elegant Al Said. This isn't a backup boat, it's a $300 million sea creature born in the genius shipyards of Lürssen, the legendary German yacht builder. If Rolls-Royce built a cruise ship and sent it to finishing school in Versailles, it would still fall short of what Al Said brings to the table. This yacht isn't just for pleasure. It's a masterpiece of engineering, elegance, and extravagance. With space for an entire orchestra, yes, a full band, violins and all, it doesn't just sail, it performs. You could be in the middle of the Indian Ocean, listening to live symphonies under the stars, sipping saffron-infused tea, and wondering what stress even means. And we're not talking about a random little music room either. We're talking about a full-fledged concert hall at sea, because when you're royalty, why settle for a Bluetooth speaker when you can have a live cello section 24/7? The Al Said is also rumored to house some of the most advanced maritime technology on Earth. Surveillance systems that would make James Bond raise an eyebrow, radar that could probably see into next week, and enough satellite communication power to run a small country. This isn't just luxury, it's a moving fortress with flair. Sultan Haytham's billionaire car collection. Okay, let's get one thing straight. When Sultan Haytham steps onto land, the oil doesn't dry up. It turns into horsepower. His cars don't just drive, they glide, roar, and whisper, "You can't afford me," in 10 different languages. For most of us, buying a car is about reliability, maybe fuel efficiency if you're feeling adultish. But for the Sultan, it's about legacy, elegance, muscle, and silent power, all on 4 very expensive wheels. Let's start with the royal flagship, the Mercedes-Maybach S600. This isn't a car, it's an executive suite on wheels. It combines modern tech, think adaptive suspension, mood lighting, scent systems, with regal opulence. Sitting inside a Maybach S600 is like entering a dimension where every surface is either polished wood, chrome, or butter-soft leather. It's not driven, it's glided. And of course, when it comes to the Sultan's edition, expect bulletproof panels, privacy curtains, and enough communication gear to call Mars. But wait, it only gets louder. Enter the Bugatti Chiron. This is not a car. This is a $3 million, 1,500 horsepower monster that looks like it was designed by angels on an espresso binge. It's literally the fastest car in Oman, and probably the quietest about it, because that's the Sultan's style. Silent dominance. The Chiron doesn't just go fast, it makes fast feel embarrassed. When the Sultan wants to feel the G-force of greatness on land, this is the ride. Forget speed limits. This thing has its own gravitational pull. Now let's class it up with the timeless legend, the Rolls-Royce Phantom. But hold on, this isn't the showroom model you see in luxury brochures. No, this is customized to Sultan Hytham's personal taste. That means bespoke embroidery, secret compartments, probably for royal gloves, and interior colors that probably don't even have names yet. Just elegant-sounding codes. The Phantom is so smooth, it feels like the road apologizes every time the tires roll over it. But even royals have traditions to keep, and that's where the Mercedes E-Class limousine comes in. You might be thinking, why an E-Class? Because it's the perfect blend of tradition and modest prestige. This car is a nod to the old-school convoy setup. Diplomatic, formal, efficient. When you see the Sultan in an E-Class limo, it's a subtle way of saying, yes, I rule a nation, but I'm also very punctual. Now, let's bring out the muscle, the mighty Benz Tiger. If the Bugatti is the beast, the Tiger is the battle tank in a tuxedo. Built for protection and dominance, the Benz Tiger features a hand-built V8 engine and bulletproof windows. It doesn't just turn heads, it stares them down. This is the kind of vehicle that makes potholes nervous. It combines road grit with royal grace. You don't ride in the Tiger, you command the road from inside it. And just to clarify, these aren't Sunday drivers or garage queens. These cars are active pieces of royal performance art. Each one has a purpose, a role in the Sultan's terrestrial theater. Whether he's attending state functions, hosting foreign dignitaries, or just deciding to roll through Muscat like a whispering breeze of prestige, he's got the perfect ride waiting. When the motorcade moves, royal precision in motion. Now imagine this, a golden afternoon in Muscat. You hear a low rumble in the distance. Not chaos, no noise, just a whisper of thunder wrapped in discipline. That's not a storm coming. That's the Sultan's convoy, a formation that turns heads, stops traffic, and commands total attention without a single word. When Sultan Hytham's motorcade moves, it's not just a parade of expensive cars, it's a rolling display of coordination, security, and absolute royal control. First, armed escort vehicles. These are not your regular security SUVs. These are reinforced, tech-heavy, threat-neutralizing machines. Think armored Land Cruisers and G-Class beasts flanking the Sultan like protective lions. Then come the armored convoys, multiple vehicles built to be both intimidating and resilient. You can't tell which one the Sultan is in, and that's the point. It's a carefully choreographed game of royal hide-and-seek. For security purposes, every vehicle is potentially the one, and all are prepped for evasive maneuvers if needed. Beside them, the motorcycle units. Not just for cool points, these riders are precision-trained escorts that clear traffic, scout ahead, and form an outer bubble of rapid response. Watching them weave through traffic with clockwork rhythm is like watching a royal ballet, but with engines. And of course, medical support units. Because being royal also means being ready. These MedTech SUVs follow the convoy with full trauma response kits and trained staff. Even if disaster struck mid-route, the Sultan's team is prepared to handle it with military efficiency and royal calm. All this doesn't just scream protection, it whispers preparedness, sovereignty, and total control. When this motorcade flows through a city, everything halts. It's not chaos, it's discipline wrapped in luxury. It's a royal dance on asphalt, choreographed down to the second. So whether Sultan Haitham is floating over clouds, slicing through waves, or gliding down boulevards, his billionaire lifestyle stays perfectly consistent, elegant, strategic, and untouchable. And on land, even the roads bow. Sultan Haitham bin Tariq doesn't just live like a billionaire, he reigns like a legend. His world isn't built on loud flexes or tabloid headlines, it's built on quiet power, polished elegance, and a standard of wealth that whispers, "This is royalty." And now that you've peeked into the secret billionaire life of Omans Suan, the royal who rules land, sky, and sea, don't fly away just yet. If you enjoyed this luxurious deep dive, hit that like button like you're launching a royal jet. Subscribe so you never miss another billionaire breakdown, and drop a comment below. Which part of Sultan Haitham's lifestyle blew your mind the most? Because trust me, we've got more royal secrets, billionaire habits, and gold-plated lifestyles coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of wealth, some rule the game, but others own the board.